Messiah College has been blessed with committed employees since its beginning. In 1909, Messiah College founder Samuel Roger Smith donated his own house in Harrisburg as the first building of the Messiah Bible School and Missionary Training Home, where Smith himself taught Bible classes to 12 students who paid $3.25 a week for room and board with free tuition. This humble Bible school would grow to become Messiah College. In these early years, faculty had to make great sacrifices to ensure the school's survival. President S.R. Smith and his successor Enos Hess were both willing to donate part or all of their salaries back to the college in order to help the growing institution meet its financial needs. Students and faculty worked together to build the alumni auditorium, and many of the houses that were built on campus were constructed entirely by college employees.
Faculty members, during the summertime, we would build houses or repair houses, sometimes on campus and sometimes off of campus. But we were a building group, and I was part of that group for I guess a number of years. Probably 6 or 7 houses that used to be up in that area. A number of those were built by the campus builders. They built the first unit of the library that exists now. Then when they built the new addition on, many books had to be carried down steps. We carried them, whole bunches of students and faculty members carried them from one place to the other.
Enos Hess and Asa and Ann Kleimenhaga often invited students to their homes for dinner. After an evening at the Kleimenhagas, one student remarked, "We have really spent a few hours at home." Though originally a Bible school, Messiah College always offered broader education in the arts and sciences. Professors sought to teach and build relationships with students both inside and outside of the classroom, organizing hikes in the wilderness and trips to Washington, D.C. and New York City. For students who had never left rural Pennsylvania before, these trips proved to be both educational and exciting. Under President C.N. Hostetter Jr., the college greatly increased in size. Hostetter himself raised almost $200,000 for the college. But throughout the college's history, employee excellence is found not only in the leadership of presidents, but in the dedication of all.
I think I tell people that the president, Hostetter, had a greater vision for me than I had for myself when he recruited me as a possible Greek teacher and then gave me opportunities to develop and become involved in the total life of the college. Many of the teachers during those years in the 50s were completing degrees here and there, either at Penn State or elsewhere, moving toward better excellence in offerings, and we were moving toward accreditation. It's amazing the growth that Messiah College had in the late 50s. But the coming of some new teachers from outside also helped. The Schrogs, Dr. Martin Schrog, and his wife Dorothy in music were 2 great additions.
I think back on myself as a student here in Messiah in the 60s. I had the opportunity to take a Bible course from Robert Sider, a Rhodes Scholar. I had my speech course from Dr. Ray Heisey, who was actually the mentor of our President Kim Phipps in her graduate program in communication. And I had theology from Martin Schrog, who to me is sort of Mr. Anabaptist.
The president of the college was concerned about academic excellence and improving the offerings of Messiah College in those early days.
When I think of employee excellence, I think of civic involvement. And you don't usually think of civic involvement when you think of Messiah College. This was a place that was separate from the world in those years. And probably today to some degree. But Dean Carlton Whitlinger actually ran for public office in the 1960s. He thought he would not be elected because he was a Democrat. But as I as I'm told by his daughter and other people, he came one vote from actually winning the election.
One of the things that we also got involved in was community service. I became a school board member of the Mechanicsburg Area School Board and served there for 2 years and was the treasurer of the Upper Allen contingent of the school board. And I also then became a fire company secretary, joined the fire company of Grantham. We had a fire company in Grantham. And I was the secretary and fundraiser and books and so forth as a part of my community service.
I've been told that Dean Asa Climenhaga started the local Kiwanis Club that still functions in this area. Again, community involvement in ways that I would not have thought of at Messiah College. Civic involvement, involvement in the community, employee excellence, it seems to me, is represented there.
During World War II, Japanese-American Harvey Sakamura was employed as a groundskeeper at Messiah College after spending 2 years in an internment camp. Though the college was criticized and even threatened as a result of hiring Sakamura, the college community welcomed the Sakamura family with open arms. It was a bold example of Christian love shown to a family who had suffered unfairly in the internment of Japanese Americans. The opening of the Messiah College Philadelphia campus in the midst of race riots and civil unrest, and the partnering with Daystar University in Nairobi, Kenya, at the time the only Christian liberal arts school in Africa, further display the commitment to Christian vocation held by the Messiah College faculty and employees.
One of the things I think of when I think of employee excellence is innovation. That's one of the categories. And when I think about innovation, I think about President D. Ray Hostetter, and specifically about how in the mid-60s they placed a campus in Philadelphia. I think you have to get back into that time period to understand what was going on then. In the mid-60s, the cities were really burning. And in Philadelphia, there were race riots a couple blocks south of where our campus actually sits there. And those race riots, that area reeled from those race riots for probably up until almost the present time. A couple blocks north of there, the Black Power people were hanging out in the Church of the Advocate, Episcopal church up there. And Stokely Carmichael, people like that you might remember from that time period. It's amazing to me that Ray Hostetter, Dean Daniel Chamberlain, and Ernie Boyer put a campus right in the middle of all that. 1968, that's just remarkable to me. It's an innovation that I think still takes my breath away. Another thing that Ray Hostetter did as far as innovation is concerned is Daystar. In the 80s, President Hostetter traveled around the world to find a place to put a school. And he looked at a number of places and decided that Nairobi, Kenya would be a good place for that to happen. In the mid-80s, they placed a campus there in Nairobi, Kenya. Actually, the first Christian liberal arts college in that part of Africa. Innovation.
Employee excellence is seen in every employee who has gone the extra mile to prepare for a major college event, such as the 2008 Compassion Forum, to make repairs to the college after last year's flooding, or to build and maintain relationships with students by organizing outings and keeping in touch with students after their graduation. Messiah College is a place where a broad education in the liberal arts and sciences is taught within a Christian framework, made possible only by the incredible dedication of the entire college community. This year, we celebrate 100 years of employee excellence at Messiah College.